Hi everyone, Jane Bromage of Reiki Essence Healing Arts, and today I'd like to share some reflections about this upcoming full moon in Capricorn. This is a very potent full moon that comes around each year as we hit the midpoint of the year. And so if you stop to look back on where you were 6 months ago, we were beginning a new year, a new cycle. um, 6 months ago, we had the shortest days of the year with the winter solstice, moving into the actual new year of the regular calendar. And, think back to what challenges you were facing, what intentions, what hopes, what dreams you had. And the thing about Capricorn energy is it's very practical and it's very much about putting one foot in front of the other. And so 6 months ago, we had the sun in Capricorn, and we also had at some point a new moon in Capricorn where the sun and the moon were coming together. So now here we are at a full moon 6 months later. And this full moon and the sun are now reflecting back to us, and it's a beautiful moment of reflecting back to us, of looking back at how far you've come, to honor how far you've come, to honor how you've met what obstacles that you've had to meet, to look at the accomplishments that you've made so far, and to also reflect on like what isn't working in your life and what needs some rethinking, some reframing, some adjustments, so that you can then continue to put one foot in front of the other, just like the very persistent and patient goat, which is the symbol of Capricorn. Um, I always describe Capricorn. I love this. This is the best description of Capricorn, which is Capricorn is the cosmic CEO. It's all well and good to have these bigger, higher visions, to have these higher dreams, to have this bigger picture coming through on life, to have that really beautiful, amazing, expansive spiritual connection, even. But we're also Capricorn's that gentle reminder, or sometimes not that's not so gentle reminder, that we are still here in this heavier three-dimensional realm. And that three-dimensional realm is where we put spirit to use. This is where the CEO is saying, okay, we've got this plan, but how are you going to implement it? And what's great about Capricorn is that yes, you're putting one foot in front of the other, but it's also with this sense of trust and faith. Look at how those mountain goats just hang off of cliffs. So, so the goat, yeah, is all about like, let's get to work, let's roll up our sleeves. It's very practical, but at the same time, Capricorn's also climbing the mountain and looking at the big picture, and having that faith and trust in the cosmic energies and in spirit, however you want to define the divine for yourself, or that all-encompassing energy. So Capricorn, it understands like there's this bigger force at play, and we want to always be connected to that bigger force and be in the flow, and trust it, but at the same time keeping one foot on earth, and bringing it one foot in front of the other, and really being able to focus on the day to day that needs to get done in order to bring the bigger picture to life. And so for today, I'd like to just take you through a short visualization, guided meditation, um, where I'll take you to the top of the mountain, representing the climax, the peak of the year, and give you a moment to tune into your heart, to tune into looking back on these last 6 months, and letting the light of that full moon really illuminate and bring clarity as to what's working, what you should pause and celebrate, and also to reflect on what isn't working or what challenges have come up and what new resources maybe you need to be asking for, or just really looking at what you need to shift the energy as we move into the second half of the year and descend down the mountain, and to allow ourselves to kind of let go and be a little more in the flow of life as we start to descend the mountain of this year. So go ahead and just drop your eyelids and take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And a nice cleansing exhale. And then another deep inhale, really breathing into your lower belly. And on the exhale, just inviting any excess energy, any excess stress to just release and let that energy move down your body and out through the soles of your feet. And now I'm just going to invite you to really tune into your feet right now. Tune in to how your feet are meeting the ground, meeting the floor, or if you're sitting cross-legged or lying down. Just how are your feet feeling? Are they feeling relaxed? Are they buzzing? Are they holding tension? Just really tune into your feet. Maybe even reflect on how you walk. How have you been walking these days, and how have your feet been feeling? Do you have any feet issues? Your feet are what keeps you aligned and keeps you grounded and keeps you taking one foot in front of the other, stepping one foot in front of the other. So just really feeling the energy of your feet, and if there is tension, inviting that tension to relax. And as they relax, I want you to begin to visualize yourself putting one foot in front of the other. And as you visualize your feet putting one foot in front of the other, you realize that you're walking a hiking trail and the earth is soft under your feet. And there are trees all around you. And you realize you're in the last stretch of climbing a mountain. And as you take these next steps, you see before you a clearing. And you realize that this is where the tree line of the mountain ends. And you're about to climb and scale the last bits of the mountain where there are very few trees and it's just rock. So as you step into this open area of the mountain and you find a rock that's close to the peak of the mountain, a rock that is supportive so you don't feel like you're about to fall off, but you can still feel grounded and connected to the earth while taking in the expansive panorama of the peak of the mountain. And you're feeling really grounded into the mountain, into the earth. And you reflect back on the hike up the mountain. And that hike up the mountain represents the last 6 months. So where might you have encountered some boulders, or maybe some moments where you weren't sure if you were going to make it all the way up the mountain. Where were those struggles over the last 6 months? Perhaps it's been a healing journey for you with your physical health and well being. Or perhaps it's been with the unknown, the challenges around the unknown of shifting jobs or careers, or perhaps relationships, some struggles within your relationships. So think about what it took for you to get up the mountain in those moments of struggle. And what resources within you did you have to draw upon to move past those obstacles? And just honor what that took. Honor that within yourself. And even if you are still struggling, honor that as well. Honor your mind, your body, and your spirit for continuing to put one foot in front of the other, even when it's been hard and you haven't been sure you'd make it. Because that is what the persistent energy of Capricorn is all about, is still continuing to put one foot in front of the other, even when it gets hard. And now continuing to breathe and reflect back on the last 6 months. And think about now those moments of accomplishment, both the big and small. So those small things you overcame. Perhaps it was integrating something small like a healthy habit into your daily routine. Or perhaps it is like all the things that you've managed to get done in order to tend to your health. Or maybe it's the inner work that you've accomplished in order to navigate the challenges within your relationships. Or maybe the big accomplishment is overcoming the worry and the fear that you've encountered with life this year, and conquering some of those fears and worries. Or perhaps it's conquering your grief. So take a moment and celebrate. You may wish to place your hand on your heart as you do, and really tune into your heart and honor both the struggle and the joy, the accomplishments, and not both the inner and outer resources that you received and that you tapped into in order to arrive at this peak of the year. And now I'm going to invite you to tune into these next 6 months as we enter the summer months. This is a time of letting go and being in the flow of life. The summer slowdown, this time of coasting, even though we might still be working at life. There's just this beautiful energy of being at home with yourself that's coming through with the Cancer sun, that's being reflected off of the Capricorn moon. Cancer is all about being home within yourself, home within your heart. So how can you take the journey back down the mountain and be in that flow of trust in life, that flow of trust in yourself, trust in the cosmos, trust in the divine, that God force energy, however you define it for yourself. To allow yourself to descend the mountain and being in the flow of life as you do. And how do you see yourself by the end of this year? So as you stare down the pathway that's going to take you down the mountain, as we descend into the second half of the year, how do you want this year to end? So picture yourself arriving at the end of this year, and how do you want to feel? The first half of this year has had a lot of energy, a lot of fire, a lot of chaos, a lot of shuffling of the energies, a lot happening for us, but it's still been a lot of shuffling of the energies in the collective and then in our own personal stories. So now that we've reached this peak, how can you intentionally put one foot in front of the other as you descend the mountain? And what note, what feeling do you want to end this year with? Do you see yourself crossing the finish line of this year, feeling joyful, feeling abundant, feeling energized, feeling calm, feeling at peace, at harmony? So what words are coming to you for how you want to experience the ending of this year, the second half? And how can you put one foot in front of the other, intentionally carrying that energy with you over these next 6 months? And as you get clear on that energy that you're going to carry with you over these next 6 months, you may wish to place your hand somewhere on your body to anchor that energy. Really, truly feel it within your physical body. Maybe it's in your heart or your solar plexus, or maybe it's your legs or your feet that you want to anchor that energy. So just breathe and anchor it into your being. And then just imagine yourself now taking those first few steps as you descend down the mountain and enter back into the forested area of the mountain. Just putting one foot in front of the other. And just take a moment now and find a place along the pathway where you can sit. Perhaps it's under a tree or a rock. Just sit there and breathe and allow this energy to continue to settle within your being. The rest of the journey down the mountain lies ahead of you. So right now, your job is just to relax into the energy you want to experience and allow yourself to flow with that energy as we step into the months of the summer. Breathe and relaxing into the flow, that energy. And now, I'm going to invite you to allow the scenery to slowly dissolve and dissipate and disappear. Returning your focus back into the actual present time and space that you're in, feeling into your body, and gently open your eyes. So I hope this guided meditation and visualization was helpful for you at this time of year. And with this full moon, really allowing that energy of Capricorn to allow you to just evaluate where you are without judgment, and to just commit to putting one foot in front of the other as you move forward into the second half of the year. But to also do it in a way with that Cancer sun that's being reflected off of this full moon at this time, to really, reflect on where you can feel more at home within yourself, more at home in life. Cancer is a water sign, so it's also Cancer is all about being in the flow, the nourishing flow of life. So I wish you a beautiful few weeks of summer. I'll probably be back soon in a couple of weeks to talk about the new moon coming up in Cancer. And in the meantime, I wish you a beautiful start to summer, beautiful kickoff. And also, if you would like additional support, if you'd like to explore the possibilities of what it's like to work with me one on one, I have a link in the comments where you can set up a complimentary call with me. It's a 45-minute call, and we can explore how working with me with both my coaching and my Reiki healing practice, how I bring that together to help you to find harmony and balance in your work and home life, and to explore the bigger picture of your life, where you're headed. Perhaps you're at a pivot point in your life and could use some extra support. So the link is in the comments. And in the meantime, I wish you a beautiful day or evening, depending on what time you're listening to this. Take care. Bye bye.